So this matter is something that I find quite sensitive to discuss, but as you read from the paper, now we're able to admit that it's something that has existed or has been with us since pre-colonial times. I just saw here that the Bawku secondary school has also been closed. I don't know if there was a shooting there. Oh yes, after a student shot dead. So it's happening in Northeast and in Bawku. First, we'll call for calm and pray for peace. Our sympathies are with all the bereaved families. I don't think anybody should lose their lives for any reason, and especially for conflicts that especially does not directly involve them. That becomes the issues that we face when there are ethnic conflicts. It becomes simply people getting victimized by belonging to a particular ethnic group or not necessarily because they are directly involved or they have done anything wrong. So we will urge and plead with all those involved to let peace prevail so that we can move on as a country. What is, for me, very disappointing has been how this conflict was managed prior to the swearing-in of the new His Excellency John Mahama-led government, because as today we are all able to confidently and comfortably admit this conflict is something that predates all of us. It was there before we were born. But getting into the election last year, it became something that was topical, something that was thrown about, because it turned out that the flag bearer of the new patriotic party, His Excellency Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who was also the vice president at that time, belonged to one of the warring factions. And that was basically all that it was. Because that piece of information existed, people across the political aisle decided to make political capital of it. We have the current president who went to a gathering of one of the factions during the campaign, and he told them that there's no conflicts in Bawku, there's only one chief. And if you watch the video and you are abreast with the happenings of the conflicts, it looked like the current president, when he was candidate at that time, was sort of choosing sides in the conflicts. He then went on to say that when NDC is in power, there's peace in Bawku. I can only imagine the amount or the number of things that the NDC said there on their campaigns there. And you can also tell that they were greatly rewarded by whatever they told these people in Bawku, because they were able to successfully come out in their numbers to vote for the NDC government because of promises that were made to them in line with this conflict. I would want to sit here and hope that as we are maturing in our political discourse, we move away from such irresponsible behavior. And this is not the first time I've sat here to discuss what I would term, or what most fair people would be able to agree with me on, is irresponsible politicking. Things we shouldn't play politics with. Galamsey, we'll come to that later.
Is that to say that you've been vindicated when they said that when we're in power, there's always peace in Bawku?
Oh, I think Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been vindicated heavy on this matter.
Really?
Because he was accused wrongly. And if anybody in this country or anybody knows him personally, it's the things that were being said about him getting to the end of 2024, and his personality and his persona were so divergent that most people just immediately saw it and didn't believe it. But we have to also admit that there are lots of people that have not interacted with him in that manner or do not know him in that way, and so they would believe it. Oh, he's a Mamprisi, so he's obviously... People even went as far to say he was supplying arms to one of the factions, which is utterly ridiculous. If you've ever met or you've ever interacted with him, and I think it's even becoming clear to Ghanaians the kind of person he is. Somebody that's very peaceful and will not hurt a fly. How is he then going to supply guns to a conflict that predates his birth? So I'm just going to sit here again and ask for us to be very responsible, because now that the chickens have come home to roost, it is not us sitting in Accra who are...
Did you know anything about what's happening in Bawku now as a political party?
The question again, I don't understand.
Do you know how these renewed clashes are happening? Do you know anything about it as a party?
As has been usual with the conflicts in Bawku, we were never able to get down to the root cause. Obviously, this is a spillover from what was happening last
No, after
year.
the root cause we know, but the renewed
Immediate
clashes,
cause.
almost the killings, sudden gunshots, sudden slashes,
The truth is, it's the government that has to explain to us now. They seem to have all the answers when they were in opposition, and as I was going on that tangent, they seem to have all the answers when they were in opposition, to the point of painting somebody that is known as a man of peace as one of the aggressors in the fight. They seem to be able to confidently tell Ghanaians that when the NDC is in power, there's peace in Bawku. So now that everything has gone down the crapper, I think we expect.
Maybe you have to be careful with your communication line, because the continuous. I'm sorry, the continuous mentioning of this statement that was made when the NDC is in power. There's always peace in Bawku. Seems to have disturbed you a lot.
How does that seem to?
Because you're not the only person. And this morning alone, you've said it like twice or 3 times already.
Yes. It was an emphatic statement made by the current president. So if you are asking me what I think the root cause is, I'm also telling you that it's the government who should tell us, because at that time they seem to have all the answers. They seem to be confident enough to go and boldly make this statement to one faction. And I'm telling you, with making reference to that video of His Excellency President Mahama, going to one faction. I don't want to be specific about these things, but anybody watching who has seen the video knows which faction he went to, and the tone
I've seen the video.
of conversation that was had there, to make it seem like, okay, so my contender belongs to the other faction, and so I am essentially for you, which was absolutely irresponsible.
He didn't say that.
No, I'm saying that that's what you take out from the video. Doesn't it seem like...
No, that's what you chose.
Okay, let's play the video and then Ghanaians
No. I mean...
Why don't you want to play the video?
No, because...
I wish the video would be played.
You see, there's no chieftaincy conflicts in
Okay,
so
first of all, let me lay this foundation. When it comes to Bawku and its communication, you have to be extremely careful. Now, I'm one of the journalists that, in recent times, I started doing sort of a talk about Bawku and campaigns. So, in recent times, all the renewed clashes, they've sent me all the videos, pictures, people call me in the middle of the night. And I'll be listening in to gunshots. And it's so critical, a lot of journalists decided to stay off. Because it got to a point where if you don't know and you touch on it, your life is at risk.
Of course. That's why when I started, I said it's a very sensitive matter.
Yeah,
so don't you agree
I'm trying to say
that because of the nature of this issue, the government in power should have been more responsible with their campaigning? That's all we are saying here.
I'm just trying to say that some of the videos that may infuriate tensions and tempers, I don't have to risk it.
Oh, so that's why
for now you can make reference.
That video is there. Everybody has
it's
seen
fine,
it.
It's fine, but not on the platform. It's fine.
So if you don't want to play, that's fine. Your editorial policy. So that's absolutely fine. But that happened. And so all we can do is to right now pray and encourage the people to be able to come together and put everything that has happened aside so that we can reach a peaceful resolution. All we can do now is to hope that now, again, I'm going to say it again, when they were in opposition, they had all the answers. So now that they are in government, they have to be able to explain to us what is going on. Of course, we in opposition are not best placed to be able to... We don't even have access to the intelligence to be able to understand what is going on. All we see is we wake up today and somebody has been shot. We wake up today and somebody has been shot. The most frightening thing I saw was that it looks like it's even spilling over into the Ashanti region where somebody was shot.
Not Ashanti regional.
Somebody was shot in
Asawase. All the way down south.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the most recent one I've heard.
That's just one of the issues or one of the cases.
Yeah, and
that's an isolated case. But it's all the way down south. In Accra here, they can send... their assailants down south to attack anybody from either of the opposing forces. So it's across the country now.
We don't want that kind of spillover. And I think I would be a little petty if I say all of this did not happen during our 8 years, but that's a matter of fact. So whatever they did to stoke this fire during the campaign, we asked that they use that same urgency to go back and try and settle the matters. Because imposing a curfew here, imposing a curfew there, these are all methods that have been used over the years, several times, and it doesn't seem to really bring a lasting peace to the matter. So we ask that they are more proactive about it to prevent further loss of life, because as you rightly said, it looks to be spilling over. I was very surprised to see somebody in Asawase in the constituency of the Interior Minister was shot, and I'm seeing measures to react to that, and I don't even want to talk about that, because how is banning motorbikes and people wearing fugus on motorbikes an answer? But I don't know what went into that decision, so I'll leave it there.
I think it's a security decision.
Yes,
and they know why they would have taken that.
I don't know what went into that security decision, but so I would leave that there. But it's something that we obviously need to set up on. I see that the government issued a statement saying they are moving away from peacekeeping to peace enforcement. Again, some clarity on that would be much needed. And again, whatever you people told them the last time, go back and see if you can build some bridges this time, so that we can all have peace in this country.
Wait, build bridges where?
Build bridges between the warring factions. At that time, even during the heat of the campaign, there are some places in Bawku that we couldn't go to because of the propaganda that had been pre-laid before us. They were able to go there. So now why are you running away from it? I saw statements or an editorial to say that the majority leader had his house burnt down. I don't know how true that actually happens. So it shows that this matter is escalating, and obviously the same people, because I saw a video of you somewhere last year that had come out again about that time, I think it was the Kusasi youths accusing some members of the NDC for something. And now it seems like this same group of people, because they are unhappy with what is happening now, have turned their anger onto the current government. There's obviously something there that we cannot run away from and behave like ostriches, like nothing happened and this is just organic and came out of nowhere. There was something that was promised them prior to the election. It looks like you have won this election, you are now the government in power, and they seem to have expectations. And so whatever you did, now the responsibility is on you. The onus is absolutely on you to fix the mess that you've landed all of us in.